Just wait for Sarah to
Hi
join in.
everybody. So this is Love the Ocean's live Q&A again. So last week we had Danielle De Silva on, and this week we've got Sarah Richards on. She is the founder of Girls That Scuba. She'll be joining us just in a second. But for everyone who's online right now, just to give you a quick lowdown on what the situation is. So I'm in Mozambique and the internet's not very good. So this is actually being hosted by Hannah, our social media girl, in England. And then this will, so if the live cuts, well, actually, if the WhatsApp cuts out, I'll go, but the live will still be going. So stay tuned, and Hannah will tell some jokes, and then I'll be back online really, really quick. So yeah, just stay on the line. If it cuts, I'll ring back as soon as I can. So as we go, you can submit questions. I've got some questions that have been pre-submitted as well that I'll be asking Sarah. And yeah, she'll be joining us in a second. Girls at Scuba. And she also has like a splinter of groups associated with that too. So like Girls That Freedive, Mums That Dive, loads of different groups.
We have Sarah.
Hey.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. It's lovely in England. I'm sure it is in Mozambique as well.
Yeah. The weather's quite well consistent here at the moment, so it's pretty all right.
Awesome.
So I was just telling a bit about what you do, but it's kind of coming from you. So do you want to talk about what you do and your life and who you are for our followers?
Yeah. So I am firstly the founder of Girls That Scuba, which is now the world's largest female scuba dive community. And alongside that, we have Girls That Freedive, Girls That Tech Dive, and quite a lot of other kind of subgroups within the network. I'm also the founder of A Waste-Free World, which is a plastic and waste-free online shop here in the UK. And other than that, I'm a dive master. I've been diving for 11 years. And like work online, digital nomad, I guess not so much at the moment because I'm stuck in England. But yeah, that's a bit of a summary.
Nice. Okay, and then just a quick summary for anyone that doesn't know Love the Oceans yet and what we do. So we're a non-profit marine conservation organisation. We're UK registered and we're based in Mozambique as well. So that's where I am at the moment. So I was just saying to everyone that tuned in right at the start that if it drops out, then I'll call Hannah back immediately. But the live will still be going, so everyone should stay tuned. But we do loads of different marine research. We do lots of diving, hence the interest with you and the Girls That Scuba and stuff like that. So we do coral reef research, we do fisheries, we do humpback whales, we do ocean trash and marine fauna, and we do community outreach projects as well. So yeah, a lot of different areas of research. Yeah, so I've got a bunch of questions. Should we just dive straight in?
Yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
Okay, perfect. So the first question, I feel like you probably answered this quite a few times in your career, but how did you become a digital nomad?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I don't get asked that as much anymore because I think people that kind of still follow my personal journey, now I'm in my 30s and I started it really when I was about 23. So yeah, it's been quite a few years. So I'm not really much of a digital nomad as such anymore because I really stay in one place for a longer period of time. But I originally started by literally just getting up and going. I kind of felt that need and want and desire to travel the world. And when I started doing it, I kind of fell in love and I thought, well, there's no way I can go back to normal life after experiencing everything I've experienced. So from there forward, I worked really hard to try and find even like income or a job or anything that could keep me on the road and keep me traveling, which is, you know, a lot of people's stories really. So I found like when I was 23, 24, 25, I didn't need much in my life. I didn't need to have loads and loads of money. I could really live off like a few £100s when living in different countries. So that's again kind of like where I turned to like blogging and online work. And if I could earn £250 a month, that was all I needed to stay in hostels and eat cheaply, but still, you know, really experience the traveling the world. So that's kind of how it started. It all just started very slowly and then kind of worked up to where it is now.
So were you more, would you say, well, were you a digital nomad before you started Girls That Scuba then, or was that kind of like, did that kind of birth Girls That Scuba? How did Girls That Scuba come along with your lifestyle?
Yeah, so Girls That Scuba only came around as a community nearly 4 years ago. So before that, yeah, I was just doing what I said, basically, like traveling, trying to earn money different ways. But then I got into diving as well, obviously, and I started diving, which means you need more money and you need to find more jobs. So I worked up to like dive master, started working as a dive master. And when I started getting into the professional dive industry, that's when I started Girls That Scuba, because that's when I really got to know the industry and, you know, kind of all the things that it was lacking and all the amazing things about it. So yeah, that was like 4 years ago. Before that, I was just traveling, having a lovely time.
Nice. And with Girls That Scuba, what caused you, or what fueled you? Was there a trigger for you starting Girls That Scuba? Someone's asked, would you call yourself a feminist? I would assume yes. I would consider myself a feminist.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So do you have like a trigger event that kind of like caused you to, or like fueled you to start Girls That Scuba?
Yeah, it was when I first started working as a dive master. I went to Micronesia, which is a country not a lot of people know too much about, but is actually very like heavily in the scuba diving industry because it's really great for wreck diving and tech diving. So I was working over there as a dive master, and I was the only female member of staff on the liveaboard. And because it was my first experience working as a scuba diver, I was earning $25 a day and living on the boat. I just kind of thought that the whole scuba dive industry was just full of like misogynistic men just because of my experience. So I kind of like went out of that being like, oh, I need to find like some girls, some females just to kind of like dive with and make sure that the whole industry isn't like this. And of course, the whole industry is not like that, but that was my experience. So I kind of thought, well, you know, if I can't find the girls, then like I'll kind of go online, because that's where you can access the whole of the world. And that's how I created Girls That Scuba.
So it just started with like you basically just trying to find more girls to dive with, right? And then just grew like super rapidly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been a crazy growth.
Awesome. That is pretty awesome. So you said you're a dive master. Do you still work as a dive master abroad then, or UK based, or like how have you found the scuba industry working as a dive master? Do you find it difficult to get a job, or is it pretty straightforward?
Yeah, I mean, I stopped after that experience, so it was my first and last experience working in the dive industry as a dive pro. Because yeah, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't. I had a bad experience. It wasn't really for me, and it was very, very hard to earn any decent money. And that by that time, I was getting to like 27 years old, 28, starting to really actually want to earn like more of an income. So I moved to Hong Kong, and that's another story. But I came out of the industry then, and so I've never worked as a dive master since. And you know, obviously with Girls That Scuba, I very much know a lot about getting jobs in the dive industry and all of the experience and stuff like that. So I would say that, of course, it's still an amazing route to go into diving, into earning money in diving, but it never has to be done for money. Just like as a dive master and instructor and stuff like that, there are different avenues after that, but for those two first pro jobs. Like, it's not for money, but I don't know anyone that does it for money anyway.
Yeah, that's true. In our kind of industry, in the marine conservation industry, I think a lot of people are dive masters. Like, I'm a dive master.
Yeah.
And I've never really used it per se, but it's more just like a stamp of like she's safe to dive with, if you got what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's like actually required, but sometimes it's just nice to have it.
Yeah, it's almost like that, the kind of top certification that you don't want to go into like teaching, but you want to be taken seriously as a diver, maybe, and work within the dive industry. So I always say to people, like, even if you don't want to be like teaching diving or anything, at least still get your dive master, because it's definitely shows that you are an experienced diver, that you've at least done those courses and those amount of dives.
Yeah, exactly. Although that said, occasionally, sometimes when I travel, I don't know if you've done this, but I decide sometimes not to tell the dive shop that I'm a dive master, because occasionally they can assume that you'll take responsibility for people on dives when you're just there wanting to have fun and have a leisure dive.
Yeah. No, some people actually recommend that if you're not an active like dive master, and you have, like, I did my dive master like 7 years ago. So yeah, usually, like, you know, if they're like, oh, put your hands up, who's a dive master? I am a dive master, but I didn't do my certification for 7 years. So all I am now is I call myself an experienced diver.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and then this kind of leads on from what you were saying with like your first experience in the dive industry, I guess. Someone's asked, have you ever experienced sexism in the dive industry?
Yes. Yes.
I'd say yes.
That's kind of the core of what Girls That Scuba, why Girls That Scuba started. And yeah, what I was saying before about my personal experience, I wasn't naive enough to think that I was the only one going through that. I knew straight away that if it had happened to me, just the kind of sexist comments and stuff like that I'd had while working in scuba diving, I knew that it would have happened to other girls as well. But again, this was like 7 years ago. So things are changing, and I think with communities like Girls That Scuba, which is solely focused on encouraging and inspiring, uplifting women in the dive industry, things are changing really rapidly. Unfortunately, there's just sexism in every single industry. So I don't think that as any gender we should presume that sexism is not still alive, because it is.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the STEM's also a male-dominated industry, but we love seeing groups because we're a female-led organisation. So seeing a group like Girls That Scuba is so amazing to see more women getting in the water, because that's exactly what's needed in the world. We make up 50% of the planet, so planet's population. So we need to be involved in what's going on. Okay. So what would you say is, because you sound like you've travelled a fair amount, so what would you say is your favourite dive site in the entire world?
Oh, dive site is impossible. But my favourite dive country is Mexico. Like, it's my obsession is Mexico. Like, it's the most incredible country. Its ocean is just like mind blowing. There's, you've got the different coasts. Not only have you got the ocean, you've got the cenote, so you've got the fresh water, and the caves and the cabins. It's basically everything you could want. You've got like the big animals, you've got the small animals, you've got the complete calm water, and the cenote is perfect for free diving. You've got places like Socorro and Guadalupe that you can go out on liveaboards. You've got shore diving in Cozumel. You just have everything in Mexico. It's an incredible country.
In Mexico, do you prefer sea diving or like the cenotes? Because I tried the cenotes a few years ago now, and that was like mind-blowing. The water was so clear, and it was just a completely different environment to diving in the sea.
Yeah, it's a very different experience, and it's like highly recommended to anyone that wants to try it out. But Yeah, I love the cenotes, and actually, I loved scuba diving them, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. But what kind of really like made me fall in love was freediving, because that's where I did my freediving course, my first freediving course, and that's where I've done my second, and that's where we do a lot of our Girls That Freedive trips as well. Because to learn to freedive in the cenote is like not only having this like a powerful experience of like learning how to hold your breath and dive, you're also surrounded by all of like the stalactites and the rock formations. Is incredible. It's just like a magical underworld.
Yeah, yeah, it's so cool. I went to I dove in, I think it was El Pit, and
Yeah.
that was like absolutely spectacular. Seeing, like, for our viewers that maybe haven't seen or been to cenotes in Mexico, but El Pit is basically this meteorite formed like hole in the ground. It's in the middle of the jungle, so you just like literally have like thick jungle, and then bam, a lovely blue hole, and then you've essentially got like 30 meters, I think it is, and then you've got the halocline, so you've got the salt water from below, the fresh water from the top, forming a density layer, and then all the leaves and stuff that falls in from the forest decays in that layer and creates this acid cloud that's like, it's not really strong acid, you can swim through it, but it looks literally like a cloud from the sky in the water. And diving down into it, like, that was so cool. That was definitely like a life experience for me.
Yeah, it's just incredible. Anyone that's has dived the cenotes will know. Definitely leave us a comment if you have dives, because anyone, like, they will feel the same as you and I feel. There's a very good description of it as well. It's great.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite places. The other one that I dove was Dos Ojos, the two eyes one.
Yeah.
And that was spectacular because they've got like a bat cave in there that's only accessible by diving. And it's just the way that like the jungle over each of the openings makes the light kind of speckled, and it's just like so beautiful. Like, I do underwater photography as well, so it was just like a friggin' photographer's dream.
Yeah, it is.
Like all these sites, it was just like, yeah, really, really beautiful.
Awesome.
Then kind of tied on to that question, someone's asked what your most memorable experience underwater was. Is that in Mexico or is that somewhere else?
Everything, like all the best things that have happened to me have happened in Mexico, diving. Yeah, I mean, it definitely. I think, yeah, I've been diving for 11, nearly 12 years, and I've done quite a lot of dives, and I've had some amazing experiences. I also have very short-term memory, so I tend to like grab on to the last amazing memory. So my last amazing memory was January this year, which was actually one of the last dive trips I managed to go on, which was in Socorro in Mexico, so just off the coast of Baja California. Well, not just off, like 26 hours off. So you actually sail for the first day, and yeah, it's the most incredible place in the world. And one of my favourite dive experiences happened there, where I dived off the boat, and as soon as I jumped in, there was dolphins, like a school of dolphins, like straight away. And they came up, and they're really, really friendly dolphins over there in Socorro. And they came and they just kind of like danced and twirled with us, with the whole group. And then we were only just like descending down. We were at 5 meters, and we were kind of descending down, and they came with us. And then as we got to kind of like our maximum depth, which was like 25 meters, there was like 3 hammerheads that just went past. And then we kind of like, I know, and then we like went around the corner, and then there was manta rays. So we had like mantas, dolphins, and hammers, like all within the first few minutes of the dive. And like, I don't think I ever have a better experience than that. It was almost like all my like 11 years of diving had come to that like one moment.
Yeah, we do a lot of work with shark fisheries here, because unfortunately the shark fin trade is quite prolific in Mozambique. So I've seen like hundreds of hammerhead sharks killed and dead, but I had never seen one alive until I think it was last year. and it was this really big female that was just swimming along on the surface, which is pretty rare where we are usually, if you see sharks, they'll be on dives. So it was just swimming on the surface, and we were actually doing an ocean safari, which is basically just when we take tourists and we drive around on the surface, usually looking for whales, because we have a lot of humpback whales here. But we just happened upon this hammerhead, and I literally started like scrambling over the side of the boat to get in the water. And all the like, what are you doing? And the captain was like, you can't go without them. Like, grabbed me back. But like hammerheads are just really magical. We have mantis and stuff here too. I think it's just because I think maybe because I've seen so many of them dead, it makes it like extra special when you see them alive and swimming along and just minding their own business.
Yeah, that's super tough, isn't it? That you have to surround yourself always seeing so many dead animals. And I think it's actually very surprising people that aren't like avid scuba divers. They presume that we see sharks and dolphins and whales all the time, but you know, like it can take years and years of full-time diving to see your first hammerhead or even your first shark or whale or anything like that. But it doesn't take long to see one head if you're working in this kind of industry. This is a sad reality.
We were actually a couple of years ago. My folks came out to visit me in Mozambique, and they've never been here before. I haven't been here since. But they came out and they knew what I did and stuff, but they didn't really. I'm the only kind of ocean person out of our family, so none of them dive or anything. But I took them on an ocean safari, and I joked with my friend who was skippering the boat. I was like, "Oh, get this, give you a tip. You can find a whale shark." And we went around like looking for whale sharks. But really, we were looking at whales because there's just so much. There's so many humpback whales here. And then we actually did happen upon a couple of whale sharks. And I dropped my parents in the water, and they snorkeled along. And my dad's like in his 70s and has never seen anything like this. And they came out, and Mum like burst into tears, and they were like super happy that they'd seen all this stuff. And then there was this other person on the boat, and she was like, "Oh my God, that's insane! Like we've travelled." And she travelled 8 years to see whale sharks, all the like whale shark spots, and had been really unlucky. That my parents had never been to Mozambique before. It was their first trip to like see if they could see whale sharks, and then bam, like it's so down to nothing, absolutely ridiculous.
Unfair.
Yeah. They're very lucky with their sightings.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm just like checking the questions as well, like on the live, just so I can. And I just had one saying, where did you do your dive master, Sarah? I'm trying to figure out where to do mine. Any advice? So yeah, I did my dive master in Turkey, and yeah, as I said, it was about 7 years ago, and it was about £1,000 at the time. But I also got accommodation. So I think if you're trying to look for like a budget place to do it, there are places that you can go that will offer like accommodation with a dive centre as well, which is always really good. But they're great places. It depends where you're located, but there's great places in Asia, in Indonesia, which are like really affordable and also like offer a really nice lifestyle. But I would also like don't say no to Europe, because a lot of people are like, oh no, like not Europe, because it's not very good diving. But you might find that you actually would get like better one-on-one instruction rather than going to a place that's got loads in those places. But yeah, obviously don't travel at the moment. But hopefully when you can, I hope that you'll find somewhere to do it.
Yeah, there's a couple of different places, like different types of dive master you can do as well. Like I did mine in like a month because I was already rescue when I started, I think. I did mine bloody ages ago as well, but I did mine in the Caribbean, and but I have friends. Like I had a friend that did hers in Mozambique, and she worked for 3 months. So depending on your budget, dive centers that will like work for them for X amount of time, and they'll pay for your dive master. But you have to like work for a certain amount of time afterwards as well to work it off. So yeah, depending on your budget, that could be useful as well.
Yeah, definitely. That is a good idea. You have to make sure you look into any internships and some of them actually charge you like more money than it would cost. So you'd have to look into it. Someone's also said, do you make any contacts that you have kept up with during a dive master? Yeah, I mean that was really the start of my professional kind of dive experience. So yeah, I feel like all I ever do is try and make contacts in diving, and that's kind of another way that I managed to build Girls That Scuba. So yeah, having contacts in diving is very good because people stay in diving for the whole of their lives, and some people are in the dive industry for 50 years. So it's great to get contacts for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Another question. What was your scariest experience underwater?
I get asked this quite a lot actually, but I've never really had like anything majorly scary happen to me. But I've had like where I haven't had my tank fully turned on, like when I start. So it gets down to pressure, and your air in your tank is decreasing. It's very hard to suck on it, and you're suddenly like, what the hell's happening? But the good thing about that is as soon as I made that mistake and realised what it was, I would never make that mistake again. So I now make sure that I'm like definitely always having my tank, making sure my tank is all the way on. I think the problem is I used to do like the quarterback turn, which now I don't think is actually recommended as much, because my quarterback turn, probably I was chatting to someone and it went way too much more than quarterback. So yeah, that's pretty scary when you first dive, realizing your tank isn't fully open.
Yeah, definitely. I've had a very similar experience when you get down to depth. And I was just looking at my needle and it was like 0 open, 0 open.
Yeah.
So that's pretty terrifying. I had one incident of out of air, and that was quite scary enough to make you absolutely vigilant about your air. But now pretty much I'll prep my kit myself, and then I feel anytime I go abroad and anyone tries to prep my kit for me, I feel really weird about it. I'm like,
yeah.
Can I just do it?
Yeah, that's true. It's good actually to always do your own kit and learn your own equipment, because yeah, when stuff like that happens, then you don't want to learn the hard way, but you can learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, and then if something goes wrong, you've only got yourself to blame. So yeah. It's better to protect your own kit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Someone's asked, how do you anticipate the COVID-19 situation will affect the dive industry?
Well, anything I say is just my personal opinion, because I have absolutely no more information than anyone else does on this kind of pandemic, obviously. I think firstly it's going to affect the travel industry, which then knocks on, of course, to the scuba dive industry. I think that to begin with, maybe when we are allowed to dive again, it will be more local. So wherever you are based at that time, the scuba industry will start again in local areas rather than obviously traveling to dive, which will be great for the local dive centres and the local, the countries that you live in. For instance, here in the UK, there is a big dive scene in the UK anyway, but it could encourage more people to dive. International diving, like I have no idea when it's gonna get back to where it is, but we can only hope. I think it will affect a lot of dive businesses. I think that if some businesses that maybe aren't keeping current at this time have just completely closed and sent all their staff home and aren't, even being current online or anything like that, they are the ones that could be affected. Of course, it's going to be affected because we've already gone through. I don't know how long everyone's been in lockdown or anything, but let's say like 2 months or something without dive travel. Of course, it will be affected. But at the end of the day, the dive community, like people frigging love diving, and they're not going to stop diving. So once things are back to normal, everyone that has been missing diving is going to go back diving again. So who knows? This is just what I think. I mean, what do you think over there in a completely kind of different country to England and the US?
Yeah. Well, I'll say the same as you. This is just my opinion. So I don't know anything more than anyone at the moment. I probably know less because I've stopped listening to the news so much. It's just depressing me at the moment. So yeah, I think it will really heavily. Well, I mean, I can only speak for like Mozambique really, but the travel. Well, the dive industry here relies on international travel because we are a developing nation. So a lot of the local population doesn't have enough money for diving because diving's expensive. So that like Mozambique here will be quite badly affected, I would imagine, and a lot of businesses will probably fold as a result of it. But I mean, that's not really any different to any other industry around the world. Like you're hearing stories at the moment all over the shop of businesses that are folding, whether it be restaurants or pubs or whatever. So I think there's going to be like massive effects with whatever industry you're working in. The dive industry does rely on the travel industry, so depending on whenever the travel ban is lifted, and I think you're right. Like I think people who like diving aren't going to stop liking diving through COVID. So when the travel ban is lifted, when it's safe to travel again, all of that kind of stuff, I think people will travel again and want to dive again. So there will be a market after COVID. It's just a question of who will make it through the COVID situation, what businesses will completely fold, what businesses maybe will shut now and reopen. And also depend on like the individual people that own the dive centers and what their situations are. Like for us right now, so we're based at a resort which has a dive center. So for us right now, Mozambique's on lockdown until the end of April. But people are kind of throwing around the idea that that's going to be extended. Obviously, international travel is out, so I think there's like a couple of flights going a day from Maputo Airport, which is like the main city, which is about 8 hours south of where I am. Our local airport isn't flying, to my knowledge, which means that all the businesses here aren't generating any kind of revenue. A lot of the restaurants are trying to do like, takeaways and stuff, which is fine for like the slightly more touristy areas. But our area is very rural. So essentially right now we've kind of, Love the Oceans has moved online, hence the Q&A tonight. A lot of online background. And our dive centre resorts kind of shut down temporarily until the lockdown's lifted, because whilst we have a lot of like international scientists join us usually, which obviously isn't happening, like we had a project in Leeds that was meant to be running in like a couple of weeks, which obviously isn't now. The dive centre main kind of clientele, I guess, from South Africa. And South Africa's got locked down at the moment. So it's just like a really tricky situation. I don't think anyone can really predict what's going on. And it will be interesting to see what unfolds. I mean, I'm not envious of any of the governments at the moment having to make any decisions around this. I don't know how you'd even begin to do that. But the dive industry will bounce back. It will just be time, I think, until that happens.
Exactly. That's very true. And I think what you said is that the people aren't going to lose their passion. Like, the passion is something that's inside of you. People are not going to lose their passion for diving. They may just have to be a little bit patient. But I think that we will all get back to diving, however that will be, whether that's international or locally. But as long as you keep your passion and your positivity, which is what I'm doing, then keep it alive.
Yeah, exactly. And I also think a lot of people are moving online now. So like communities like Girls That Scuba, they become even more important at this point, I would say, because people are turning to each other for support and future trips and all that kind of stuff. So now the online community is kind of even more important than ever. So yeah, I think people will go back to diving afterwards. Definitely.
Yes, I agree.
And then you also founded a plastic-free shop called a waste-free a waste-free world.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain a little bit about that? We've got some questions around sustainability here that I'll jump into in a minute, but if you want to explain what a waste-free world is for our followers.
Yeah. So as a diver, you know, an active diver, obviously I've batteries going. I saw the effects that plastic has on the ocean. And then within Girls That Scuba, obviously a lot of the girls are also seeing it and kind of posting in the group, kind of being like what can we do about this, and just trying to find ways that we could like help pick up the plastic, get rid of the plastic, but it was mainly just to help reduce the plastic. So I've like started like a separate community because we wanted to keep Girls At Scuba like all about scuba diving, because like the real focus is to get more women in scuba diving. So it made sense to start this kind of sustainability, plastic free kind of community separately. So I started a waste free world. And then for the first year, we just did it as a community like Girls At Scuba, where we just spoke about things. We shared like articles and tips and hacks and everything like that about being sustainable, about ways that you can like reuse objects. And then I launched a plastic free store where you could kind of like buy those like beginning products that you could switch to make plastic free products. So something like a bamboo toothbrush, menstrual products, makeup wipes and stuff like that, which are quite easy swaps to do and that anyone can do, and like the products are also so much better. So yeah, that's still, it's a very, very small kind of like project, I guess, at the moment, because it's here in the UK, and obviously the most sustainable option is not to be shipping abroad. So we do encourage people just in the UK really to be buying from us, which does close like quite a big bit of the market, but it's fine because it's never like made into a business to make a load of money. It was really to start allowing people to start a plastic free journey a lot easier. So yeah, that's where we're at now. Like the shop is like 11 months old. I think next month is it. We've been open a year, and it's like very small, but everyone that buys from us is super happy with their products and happy to support like a very small local business. So it's great.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Someone's asked, have you got a eco product that is a must-have, like your go-to product?
Yeah, I mean, I talk about a lot like about menstrual products for women. Swapping over to a moon cup literally can save you, first of all, so much money. And I mean, it completely changes periods for women if you get on with it. It's like £20 and it lasts for 10 years. You only need one, whereas like tampons, a pack of tampons, depending where you are in the world, you know, can be anywhere from like $5 to $10. So it's completely sustainable because you're not using any plastic or any waste, and you're actually saving money. So it's kind of like a no-brainer. And then and then for like everyone, like of course, like a bamboo toothbrush, like you should change a toothbrush every 3 months. And if you're buying that like horrible hardy toothbrushes, they never break down. If they do, they just break into smaller pieces. So if you just even want to start being a little bit conscious, like just swap to a bamboo toothbrush.
Yeah, definitely. I've done both of those things, and running a marine conservation organisation. There are those are two really good, easy steps as well to take to just live a bit more sustainably. Which actually ties in with the next question. Someone's asked, have you got any advice for someone looking to live a little bit more sustainably?
Yes, I mean, obviously, other than going plastic free and buying like these plastic free products, like I also want to encourage people to do stuff that's free, so you don't actually have to like spend money to go plastic free. And there's like so many simple things that you can do around the home. Simple things like if you have got heating or air conditioning, like turn the heating down, like turn the air conditioning off. Like it uses so much electricity, which is like burning fossil fuels, everything. Like turn the lights off. Like all of these simple things like can really add up to making a big difference. If you can help it, especially now, like don't use a car, like walk, use like bicycle, use public transport, you know, all of these kind of really simple, easy things like you don't even realize you're making a difference, but you are. Like, reuse everything, like upcycle, like look on Pinterest, look on A Waste of World Instagram, like find really fun, cool ways, especially in lockdown, to like reuse items, upcycle items. It's fun. You feel really good about yourself because you haven't had to buy something new. And it's free. So anything, these small little steps, like don't feel like you need to do something to change the world to actually change it. You can really make little steps.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I think also switching, I use shampoo bars instead of like liquid shampoo. And switching to that like has helped. It actually helps a lot anyway because
for travel,
coming out here, I struggle to get like shampoo and conditioner that suits my hair because my hair gets like really dry because I spend so much time in the sea and sand. So actually like a bar of shampoo, a bar of shampoo can last, like my bar of shampoo, I cut it into quarters, which is actually quite a useful tip that I picked up on the way, to cut it down so that it lasts longer. I cut it into quarters and each quarter lasts like at least 2 weeks. So I can have a bar that lasts, which costs like, maybe it's a bit more expensive than a bottle, so it costs like maybe £6, maybe a bit less for a bar. And that will last like over a month. And light to travel with as well. So if you're traveling and switching to shampoo bars have really helped too. I'm just gonna plug in phone's running out of battery.
There's so many products like that if you really want to get into like products and traveling plastic free, for instance, like those shampoo bars. You can also obviously get soap. You can get toothpaste in a jar, or you can get toothpaste tabs, which are just like little mints, and they're so easy to travel with because you can also go through in hand luggage. So not only going plastic free is like good for the earth, like the product's all natural, it's good for you, and it's actually a lot easier. We've been subjected to kind of this fast, convenient world, which actually isn't always the most convenient thing to do. So I find it really fun and interesting and enjoyable, like seeing what other products I can ditch plastic and just kind of live a plastic free life.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, now I have some quick fire questions if you're up for it. Which are just like really short answers, and I think there's only 11 of them, so we'll just do those 3 of them now.
Yeah, I'm going to put you on charge. Wait a second. Okay. Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, cool. Right, first one. Favorite ocean creature?
Dolphin and shark.
That's true.
Sorry, dolphin.
Favorite day of the week?
Wednesday. I don't have a favorite day.
Plastic free or eco free product you can't live without?
Menstrual cup, makeup wipes, and toothpaste, because I don't like the horrible chemically toothpaste.
Yeah. Favorite beach in the world?
I can't remember the name of any beaches. I don't like any beach that is accessible to the ocean. Every beach.
Okay. Last song you listened to?
I listened to the radio, which I have no idea. I'm not prepared for these questions. Pass.
Okay, dolphins or sharks?
Sharks, because I said dolphins before.
Favorite holiday?
Socorro, liveaboard in Mexico.
Nice. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to speak to animals?
Animals, definitely.
As a superpower, teleportation or breathing underwater?
Breathing underwater, but I can kind of already do that.
What book would you take with you on a desert island?
A scuba dive manual.
Nice. Informative. Ways to get off the island.
Exactly.
First thing you're going to do after lockdown?
Scuba dive.
Nice. Okay, that's the end of the quick fire questions. Before we wrap up, have you got any questions, or have people asked you any questions that you want to address on this Q&A?
I will quickly look through, but I think so there's just some suggestions of places, things to watch. Someone said how was Jordan? Jordan was amazing, but I had to come home. And then just people talking about the products they use. So no, not too many. But if anyone does have any other questions, they can definitely send them to either of us or comment on either of the posts or anything like that. But no, it was lovely talking to you. Thank you for hosting this, and well done for the initiative of going online for sure. I think if any other scuba businesses are listening, I think that's like my number one piece of advice, is to try and get online, get a presence online as much as you can.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much for joining us. If anyone has any questions, then you can follow Sarah on Instagram. You should be able to see her handle in this Q&A, and you can follow us on Instagram and submit questions to either party, depending on what your question is, or both. Thank you very much for joining us, Sarah. Really appreciate your time out of your day.
Awesome. I hope I can see you in Mozambique one day.
Yeah, definitely. Open invitation when the travel ban's eventually lifted.
Yeah, exactly. All right. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great evening.